Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to County Court at Law Number 2. My name is Judge Terrence Holmes. I'm the presiding judge here this morning. This morning, we have our arraignment docket. And what the arraignment docket is, it's an opportunity for the court to tell you what you've been charged with, what your options are, and what your rights are concerning your case. The case that you have in this court is classified as a misdemeanor case. Criminal cases are divided into felonies and misdemeanors. We only handle misdemeanor cases in this court. We actually, the courts down the hall, the district courts, they handle felony cases. Your felony cases could be a murder case, or it could be a aggravated sexual assault case, could be an aggravated robbery case, could be various drug cases and other types of cases that will entail that if you're punished, your punishment can include time in the state penitentiary, which is TDC, Texas Department of Correction. Now, the misdemeanor cases that we handle, we actually handle Class A and Class B misdemeanors. We handle Class C misdemeanors if they are appealed up from either JP court or a city court. But our jurisdiction is Class A and Class B misdemeanors. Now, the difference between the misdemeanors and the felonies is that with the misdemeanor cases, you cannot be sentenced to TDC. However, your sentence you can be sentenced to the Jefferson County Correctional Facility or the Jefferson County Jail. Now, if you have a Class A misdemeanor, the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor is confinement in the county jail for a term up to 365 days or a year. So you could be sentenced anywhere from 0 days all the way on up to 365 days or anywhere in between. If you have a Class B misdemeanor, is the range of punishment is anywhere from 0 days to 180 days. Now, for the Class A misdemeanor, again, your fine can go all the way on up from $0 to $4,000. For the Class B misdemeanor, it can go up from $0 to $2,000. Or you could be given both such fine and confinement in a Class B misdemeanor case. Now, your Class C misdemeanors, those cases that's normally appealed up from JP court or municipal court, is fine only. You cannot be sentenced to jail. It's a fine only. So you only could get a fine in that case or in that regard. Now, you'll have the opportunity in this case or in your cases, first of all, you'll have an opportunity to dispose of your case if that's your desire. Now, you have a right as a defendant in a criminal case. You have three options. Number one, you may hire an attorney. Or number two, if you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request an attorney be appointed to represent you. That's the second option. Or number three, you may represent yourself. If you want an attorney to represent you and have enough money to hire an attorney, the case will be reset to give you time to do so. If you want an attorney and do not have the money to hire one, you will need to fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not you qualify for the appointment of an attorney. You may not speak to the prosecutor about your case unless you sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. Be aware that there are dangers to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant legal rights and opportunities relating to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. If you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and may request counsel from the court. Now, at the bottom of the document that I've just read, uh, it states, and it's on the first page that you have, defendant's choice. Mark initials next to only one choice. If your choice is, I want to reset this case to hire my own attorney, then you put your initials on the first line to the left. If your choice is, I have hired an attorney whose name is, then you put your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is, I want to apply for court-appointed counsel, then you'll put your initials on the third line to the left. Or if your choice is, I have court-appointed attorney whose name is, then you'll put your initials on the fourth line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. And finally, if your choice is, I want to waive my right and represent myself, then you'll put your initials on the fifth line to the left. Now, once you finish initialing one of those 5 lines, you will sign at the bottom of that document where it says defendant, and you will place the date where it says date. Okay. Now, for those individuals who will be representing themselves and waiving their right to an attorney, then you will have to fill out the waiver, which is on page 2 of that clipboard. And it reads, waiver of counsel for purposes of entering a guilty plea or proceeding to trial. I have been advised of the nature and charges against me and the dangers and disadvantages of self-representation. My waiver is voluntarily and intelligently made. Furthermore, I have been advised this 27th day of April of 2021 by the County Court at Law number 2 of my right to representation by counsel in the case pending against me. I have been further advised that if I am unable to afford counsel, one will be appointed for me free of charge. Understanding my right to have counsel appointed for me free of charge if I'm not financially able to employ counsel, I wish to waive that right and request the court to proceed with my case without an attorney being appointed for me. I hereby waive my right to counsel. And if that's your choice, you'll sign on the line where it says defendant, and you will date it today's date, April 27th of 2021. Now, as you also, well, as a defendant in a criminal case, you also have other rights as well. Now, you also have a right to have a trial by jury. What a trial by jury is, 6 individuals from Jefferson County will be selected to sit on your case, and they'll be selected as jurors on your case, and then they'll listen to all of the evidence, and once all of the evidence is presented, they'll make a decision as to whether or not you're guilty or innocent. Now, you also have a right to waive or give up your right to have a trial by jury. And what that means is you have a right not to have a trial by jury. And by doing so, if you waive or give up the right to have a trial by jury, then your case will just come before the judge or the court. And you could come before the judge or the court through entering a guilty plea, or you can have a trial before the court as well. Now, if you have a trial before the court, we call that a bench trial. It's just a trial before the judge. The judge will decide whether or not you're guilty or innocent. If you're found guilty, the judge would also set the punishment. Now, if you decide to enter a plea, what I mean by a plea, you have come to an agreement with the state as to what the punishment will be in your case. And if you want to enter a plea of either guilty or no contest, then that also comes before the judge. It doesn't go before it's coming before the judge once you waive your right to have a jury trial. You also have a right to have what we call a discovery. Discovery is you have a right to see the evidence that the state has against you. If you would like to see the evidence then the state can allow you to have access to that evidence. If you do not want to see that evidence, you'll be waiving or giving up your right to see the evidence. You also have a right to have witnesses to come to court. They can testify either for you or against you. You have a right to waive or give up your right to have witnesses as well. In essence, you're saying that you do not want to call any witnesses on your behalf in your case. That's your right. Also, if you are not a U.S. citizen on a plea of guilty or nolo contendere, it may result in deportation, which means you could get kicked out the country, or it may result in exclusion from admission, which means that if you're outside the country trying to come in, they can stop you from coming in, or it may result in denial of naturalization, which means that if you apply for citizenship, they could deny giving you they can deny your application for citizenship. Those of you who have an attorney, your attorney will have an opportunity to get the evidence, and your attorney will have an opportunity to talk to the district attorney or assistant district attorney to see if they can work out a plea bargain agreement. Or if you're representing yourself, then you can, you will have an opportunity to talk to the district attorney, okay? And to see if you can work out a plea bargain or a settlement on your case. If your attorney is able to, or if you are able to work out a settlement on your case, I do not have to follow that settlement, okay? If I do not follow the settlement, your plea bargain agreement, then you'll be entitled to withdraw, which means you'll have to be entitled to take back your plea of guilty or no contest. Now, however, if I do follow the plea bargain agreement, and if you decide that you would like to appeal, say within 30 days, then you would have to get my or the court's permission to appeal your case. What an appeal is, you'll be asking a higher court than this court to look at your case to see whether or not this court committed an error by convicting you, or whether or not they can look at it and see if you was wrongfully convicted. Now, the appeal, the case that the court will go to is called the Ninth Court of Appeals. It's located right above us on the 3rd floor. They will review your case. They will decide whether or not to either grant or deny your appeal. If they grant your appeal, then they can simply find you not guilty, or they can send the case back down to this court or to this court to give you a whole new trial. Or if they deny your appeal, then within 30 days of them denying your appeal, you can appeal it to a higher court than them, a higher court than the Ninth Court of Appeals. That higher court is called the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. It is the highest criminal court in the state of Texas, and it's located in Austin, Texas. You would have to file what is called a pro se petition for discretionary review. Pro se means on your own without a lawyer. You'll be filing a pro se petition for discretionary review, and they will, as I say, they can either grant it or deny your pro se petition. If they grant your pro se petition, they can find you not guilty, or they can send the case back down to this court and order this court to give you a whole new trial. Or if they grant your pro se petition, then, or if they deny your pro se petition, then at that point, your conviction will stand. Jefferson County has a program that is called pretrial diversion. That program is for first-time offenders. If it's your first time getting a criminal case or an offense, then you may qualify for pretrial diversion. Pretrial diversion, the program basically means that you get into the program, it's run by the probation department, you're not on probation. However, if you're in the program, you complete the program, the case is dismissed, and then you could get it expunged from your record. Expunged means you can get it wiped off, deleted, or erased from your record. So if you're interested in that, in order to get in the program, one, it has to be your first case. You got to be a first-time offender. Two, you have to have a lawyer to get you in the program. And three, it cannot be an offense involving unlawfully carrying a weapon or resisting arrest. If you are a veteran of any one of the branches of the United States military, Jefferson County has a program that is called Veterans Court. And what Veterans Court is for veterans. It's a pretrial diversion. It's part of the pretrial diversion program. You get into the Veterans Court, your case is dismissed, you complete it, and you can get it expunged from your record, just like the regular pretrial diversion. But this one is just only for veterans. Now, the other thing that you should be mindful of is that Jefferson County, well, this court, County Court at Law number 2, we have a program that is called the Community Safety Initiative. For short, we call it the CSI program. And what the CSI program is a program designed to address what we call recidivism. Recidivism is where people commit crimes over and over. So to address recidivism, we have the CSI program, which is designed to make Jefferson County a safer place for all of us to live, work, go to school, raise our children, go to church. And the way the program works is we have a myriad of partnerships with some local agencies. And in particular, we have a partnership with Spindletop, MHMR, it's our local mental health agency. So if someone have mental health issues, Spindletop, we have individuals in court from Spindletop. We have Deputy Hinton and we have Miss Lisa, who's here to assist by providing interviews for you. And because they are connected with Spindletop, Spindletop can do an assessment and they can develop a treatment plan, either outpatient or inpatient, for you as well. Now, if you have a problem with drugs, or if you have a problem with alcohol, then Spindletop has a program for juvenile or for youth that is called the ATAR program. It stands for Addiction Treatment and Recovery Program. That's called ATAR. Now, OZAR, which is the local drug and alcohol council, if you are above 21 years old, they can come in just like Spindletop. They can do an interview, they can do screenings, and they can develop either outpatient or inpatient treatment plans for you as well. We also have a program now. Well, we also have a program with the Golden Triangle Empowerment Center. We have a partnership with the Golden Triangle Empowerment Center, who has a partnership with Lamar University. Lamar University has a program that is called CICE. It stands for Center for Innovation, Commercialization, and Entrepreneurship. It is a job training and a job placement program. Individuals are given training, can receive training in the hotel industry, the shipping industry, or the chemical industry. And once they receive training in any one of those areas, they will assist you with getting a job in the area that you're trained in. And also, Spindletop, and I think as well as maybe Lamar University or the CICE program has a GED program. So if you haven't received your high school diploma, they can assist you with getting your high school diploma. Now, all of these programs that I've just talked to you about are free. It doesn't cost you anything. Only thing you would have to do is be willing to participate. Doesn't cost the county anything because it's just through our partnerships that we have with our with the various agencies. They are providing the service. Now, these programs are designed to make Jefferson County a safer place. And because these programs, we've had these programs in County Court at Law number 2 for over 4 years. I started on the bench December of 2016, started the program. About 3 months later, March of 2017. And all of these programs, as I say, not only are they free, but all of these programs could be beneficial toward uh, a lot of things. One, getting employment. Uh, Two, it also, these programs could be used as community service as well. Now, but tell people this all the time: when you come to county court at law number 2, we don't have court as usual, we have unusual court. And it's not because we're different, it's because we're trying to make a difference of the lives of the individuals that comes before the court, and we're trying to make a difference in the community in which we live. We're trying to make a difference in Jefferson County by producing productive people. If we are able to produce productive people for the most part do not commit crimes, and because they do not basically commit crimes, our crime rate goes down. And so that's why it addresses the issue of recidivism or people committing crimes over and over. The other thing is, in this court, we do not just arrest the problem, we address the problem. And we're addressing these problems through our CSI program to make Jefferson County a safer place. And we're producing productive people. And these programs are designed to make Jefferson County a safer place. Now, um, if you have, well, you all have been arrested. You spent some time in jail. Could have been a minute, a couple of hours, a couple of days, or whatever, weeks, months. But anyway, whatever time that you spent in jail, that time can be used toward, or can be credited towards your punishment. So, for example, spent 5 days in jail. The state is offering you 5 days in jail as your punishment. Uh, you accepted that plea bargain, then you'll be given what is called credit for time served, which means you don't have to serve any more time in jail because the time you spent in jail has already been served. Or if you have to pay a fine, every day that you spent in jail, you get $100 per day toward your fine and court costs. And so if you've been in jail 5 days, you have to pay a fine and court costs of $500. You don't have to pay anything because 5 days in jail is $500. So therefore, your fine and court costs will be taxed and retired. Now, if you are ordered to pay a fine and you cannot pay the fine, then we can do a couple of things. We can schedule it for you to pay it on a date later, or we can put you on a payment plan. Or if you cannot pay it, even if you was put on a payment plan or had the given time to pay it because you don't have the money, then we can convert your fine and court costs to community service. Every hour of community service that you do, $12.50 will go toward your fine and court costs. Now, the programs that I mentioned to you earlier, this in the CSI program, they can be converted to community service. So let's say you were getting some treatment for drugs or alcohol or mental health, or if you're getting trained in jobs or you're getting the GED. Every hour that you spend in one of those programs, that hour will be credited as 1 hour towards your community service, and $12.50 is going to go toward your fine and court costs. So you're killing three birds with one stone. You're paying your fine and court costs, you're doing your community service, and the program that you're in is credited toward your community service and your fine. So all three, so you're doing one thing, but it's credited toward three things. All right. Now, we have, as I stated earlier, we have some individuals here from Spindletop. We have Deputy Hinton. Deputy Hinton is sitting in the back. Deputy Hinton is going to come up to you and speak to you about the program that they have at Spindletop. At this time, I'll present to you Deputy Hinton.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. My name is Steve Hinton, a mental health deputy, licensed by the state of Texas. I'm here with my partner here, Miss Lisa. She's a qualified mental health professional with Spindletop. And the reason we're here is because the judge cares about each and every one of you, and he wants to offer this program to y'all. So what we found was people who repetitively go in and out of the court system and out of jail have underlying issues such as mental health issues or substance use disorders. And we would like to advocate with you and help you with that if this applies to you. We're here, Mrs. Lisa can have a private meeting with y'all. The information that you convey to us will be totally private. It's HIPAA regulated and guarded, so that no one will know anything about it. But we will be able to walk you through the system and help you and give you some direction on the best way to handle whatever your situation may be. Also, if you have family members, maybe this doesn't apply to you, but you have family members that it does apply to, we would love to talk to you about that and give you some resources so that you can go back and talk with them and help them with their issues, whatever may be going on there too. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you. Very kind. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Henry. Now, the paperwork that has been passed out to you on the clipboard, we are going to pick those up. And for those of you who are applying for court-appointed attorneys, you would have to fill out a financial questionnaire. And if you need some assistance with the financial questionnaire, we'll be happy to provide you with that assistance. So at this time, we will be in recess to give our staff time to get